One of the most underappreciated professions, I believe, is teaching. I think we ask a lot of them. I think we expect a lot of them. I think we demand a lot of them. And I think sometimes they get the short end of the stick when it comes to resources, supplies, support. And I'm glad that someone's doing something about that. We're going to talk about teacher resources, making education affordable and effective for everyone, including the teacher. And we're going to talk about that next. Monica Grays on Purpose Under Pressure. The heat is on. Let's get cooking. This is Purpose Under Pressure. It's a podcast about people, regular people, business folks, just like you and me, trying to make a difference in life. We get up out of bed, we swing our feet out of bed and put them on the floor, and away we go. Well, what happens next? That's called pressure, and it's sometimes on purpose driving us off of ours. So what do we do then? That's what this show is all about. And if you're back, if you've been a part of this show, if you've seen it, heard it, paid attention at all, thank you very much for coming back and being a part of this. We do this show so that other folks who are struggling or overcoming or finding pressure, they'll know that they're not alone and that this is how somebody else made it through and they can do the same. So if you are in that situation, or if you know someone who is, if you will like the show or follow it or subscribe and tell your mom, I don't care. If you'll do something to help promote the idea that this show is worth listening to, I really do appreciate it. So give us a like, give us a follow wherever you stream your favorite shows, either on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We really do appreciate that. It makes a difference. So it's just a small thing that you can do. And thank you very much. Purpose Under Pressure is and has been every single season, every single episode, brought to you by my friends at Sandler by the Ruby Group. They're serving sales professionals nationwide from their Akron and Columbus, Ohio locations, also in Jacksonville, Florida. They provide sales training. They provide business growth consultations. They help businesses do things right, do things better on purpose. And that's not a shortcut. That requires some investment. That requires some commitment. It requires some trust that your people are going to do it the right way. That's what Sandler can do. Sandler by the Ruby Group, they're one of the top Sandler training affiliates in the nation, and they will make a difference for you and your team if you will just reach out and see how they can help. So check them out online at therubygroup.sandler.com. You'll be glad that you did. My guest today on Purpose Under Pressure is someone who I don't know extremely well, but I know her type. She's a teacher. And I, as many of you know, have been involved in education for many, many years, either from a marketing point of view, but more specifically as a school board member for a couple of different city schools, as well as career education and those kinds of things. And folks, no one has it worse. No one has it harder. No one has a better opportunity to do good. It's not all negative. But man, it's not easy to be a teacher. And we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about the things that this young lady is helping to do to help other teachers overcome their pressure. Her name is Monica Gray. She's founder and owner of Second Semester Consignment Shop. It's a consignment store in Cleveland, Ohio that helps to outfit teachers and families with school supplies at reduced prices. We need that. Families need that. Teachers need that. And I'm excited to learn more about it. She's also the owner of InQ Tutoring Services and the InQ Resources Foundation, which is her nonprofit. She's an itinerant, which is a teacher who is serving gifted students at the Cleveland City Public Schools. Folks, she's in her 28th year. God bless her. This is Monica Grays on Purpose Under Pressure. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. That
lady
sounds pretty amazing.
I should be thanking you. Yeah, you do sound pretty amazing because you are. And I'll just say it right now, rather than say it at the end. Teachers are amazing. They flat out are. I don't know how much you make, but I know it's not enough. I don't know what kind of benefits you get. They're probably fairly good in the state system. They're not good enough. Teachers deal with things that other people don't have to do. And now you're raising kids almost and for families. And it's just God's work. And I really appreciate everything that you and every other teacher does to help educate our kids in this country. So thank you.
No, thank you for acknowledging that. Yes, it is. It's a lot being a teacher. Absolutely. But, you know, we enjoy every moment of it.
And that's why you do it. I love that part about it too. The most positive and most helpful, most caring people walking the face of the earth. So you put all that together, and you've got some pretty fancy opportunities there to make a difference. So, Monica, tell me a little bit about yourself. You've got the nonprofit. You're a teacher. We're going to talk about all the things that you do, but tell me about yourself first. This is Purpose Under Pressure. What is your purpose? Why are you on this planet?
Wow. I don't even know where to start. So let's start back in 1973.
1973.
I just told my age. Oh Lord. So yes, I own several businesses. I am an educator here in the city of Cleveland for the past 28 years. I'm originally from a very small town called Greensburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
If you blink, you'll miss it. We're
Mhm.
about 50 minutes south of Pittsburgh. So I've been here going on 28 years. I came because of education, teaching position, but outside of my husband and his family, I have no family here in Cleveland. My mother is about 3 hours away, so still close enough to go home and visit. I am a mother of five.
Okay.
No, wow. All my children are grown. My youngest just turned 21 last week, and she's studying law in Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow.
So I'm really super excited about her. But my husband and I, we're empty nesters now.
Yeah.
So we have time to spend working on our businesses, working full time, and spending time with each other. In my spare time, if there's any, as I went to school for dance. So I went to school for elementary education and a minor in dance. So during my free time, I tap or I do ballroom. So I haven't had much of that lately. And I was just
Free
saying
time.
this morning, right in the free time, I was just saying this morning, I have to get back to tap. I mean, I just love dance. So I do that. And I'm a part of an amazing organization called Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So I spend a lot of hours volunteering with them. And then I have another organization that I spend a good amount of time with called Naomi Women of Distinction. And I'm I guess, the executive director of that organization.
Oh,
So yeah, there's a lot. I didn't tell you that,
yeah.
Brian.
You've got a couple of things going on. So where does second semester consignment fit into all of that? That seems like enough, and yet you've got this store.
Well, it was out of a need. So after about 20 years of teaching, I got to that teacher burnout. So any educator on this understands the teacher burnout. And I said, it's either them or me. And so I knew that I couldn't go anywhere. So I applied for a position, which I serve now. It's called Gifted Itinerant. And in that position, I knew I was going to have to downsize my material. So again, 20 years of teaching, I've had a lot of stuff, and I taught anywhere from kindergarten to third grade. So if you know educators, we buy a lot of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I bring
Out of
all
your
my
own pocket. Out of your
out
own
of our
pocket.
own
It's not in
pocket.
the
Yeah.
budgets anymore. Yeah.
Yes, it's not, and even the amount that we used to be able to claim on our taxes has
Mm-hmm.
decreased. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really bad for teachers. So I brought my things home. I said, hey, teachers are very transient. I could be out of the classroom one day, I'd be back in the classroom another day, but I knew that in my position, I would have to teach from a smaller classroom. I didn't know at that time that my teaching class is in the hallway. I actually teach in the hallway. I teach at a school called Campus International, which is located right downtown Cleveland. It's an IB school, and it's on Cleveland State campus.
Okay.
So I serve that building. I also serve Kenneth Clement Boys Leadership Academy, which is an all-boys school. Nevertheless, I bring all my stuff home. I go to put it in the garage. My husband's like, "Wait, where are you taking that stuff? You're gonna junk our garage up?" And I was like, "Junk it up? What do you
This is my
mean?"
stuff.
And so I said, "I have to hold on to it because you never know. I might be back in the classroom." He's like, "Well, we'll just take it to the consignment store and you can buy it back later." At that time, which I thought, wow, that's a great idea, but I just never heard of a consignment store ever, anywhere, not Cleveland. And trust and believe, anytime I would travel, I would look for the teacher store. So we would go on trips and be like, where's the teacher store? So I knew I've never heard anything like this. And so my husband, but I told him, I said, let me do my homework. And I did research. I didn't find anywhere, at least online, where there was a resale store for educational items. So my husband said, well, let's open one. And I'm like, I thought he was joking until like 3 months later, I'm in a storefront
Oh my gosh.
with stuff that mostly was just mine. A couple of my teacher friends, they had left the classroom, so they were like nice enough to give me their items. But people will walk in my store and like 5 minutes later leave. They're like, okay, thanks, that was nice. But now 9 years later,
Wow, 9 years.
yeah, 9 years later, we are still here, still serving teachers, parents who are homeschooling their children come and bring us items, and we're really just trying to keep the cost of educating our children down. So
How
that's
does it work? How does the consignment store work? So it's not consignment stores trying to raise money to buy, it's actual materials that people can use in their class that belong to someone else. How does what's the business model? How does that work?
so it's similar uh, to traditional consignment, but we just don't consign clothes and jewelry and shoes. We
Furniture.
consign educational items.
Yeah.
A lot of people think we're a bookstore, but we don't sell that many books, and we we don't accept as many books because we just don't have the space. Plus, there are other programs and organizations out there that take books. We want like actual classroom teaching materials. So manipulatives, stickers, bulletin boards,
Hmm.
pocket charts, posters, and the list goes on and on and on. And things that I've never even seen or heard of, and they come in, I'm like, what is this? You know, so we get some really unique items that come in from different organizations, teachers, parents. We've had people drive as far as Columbus to bring us items. We had a lady, she brought us her whole classroom. She said because of the pandemic, she couldn't go back into the classroom, and she literally donated all her things. So you don't have to donate, you can consign. So one or two ways: you can bring your items, wait for them to sell and get a percentage of that, or you can get an offer where we go through your items and we offer you a certain amount for all your items. And so it seems like more people, teachers who are getting rid of these items, are just like, I'll just take what you can give me. I just want to make sure that these items don't get thrown away and that they stay in rotation, or or they find a good home. So we always say we'll make sure these find a good home, even if that home is a home like a child's home or a daycare provider, preschool teachers. We get a very large amount of individuals who are seeking these items.
I imagine there's an amazing opportunity with homeschool parents. They don't have anything. They don't have last year's stuff or the year before stuff. I mean, they're just kind of not winging it, but they're
Mm,
not teachers by trade necessarily.
right.
And is it a lot of your audience homeschool?
Yes. Now I'm going to have to tell a little secret.
Just between us and the other million people listening. Yeah.
Yes. So, as a public educator, we would say that homeschool kids were like socially awkward, very strange. Like we had a whole list of things to describe homeschool children.
Almost like a script. Yeah, I know.
Right.
Yeah.
So we, when they would come, we were like, "Oh wait, hold on." We knew we were going to be
Toe
dealing
the
with.
company line. Yeah.
Yeah. So parents were coming, and they were homeschool parents. And when I say I learned so much
Good
about
for you.
the life of a homeschool child, and what
Yes.
I realized is that those children are homeschooled and the parents that do it well, they don't come back to public education, or they don't come back to structured education. And they become doctors and lawyers and counselors. They become very, prestigious people, but it's because we don't see them. And so I had to open my mind
That's
and
right. That's right.
vision of what a homeschool child looks like. And now, even through our tutoring program, we have a lot of parents that will bring their children for tutoring, though they're being homeschooled.
Mhm.
So I am very thankful for the opportunity to not be ignorant
Yeah.
to what a homeschool child is, looks like, does, and all that. I think it's a great opportunity for parents who are able to homeschool their children.
Hmm. Yeah, and I don't mean to get on a soapbox about what I think, but life is just so much easier when we don't close things off and we welcome opportunities and we research and we make our own decisions. Usually,
Mhm.
any education is good education. It doesn't have to be this or that. Let's trust people. And
Right.
I find that that's a good model to do. So tell me a little bit about this. Is like you said, there aren't this kind of store on every street corner. You're doing this kind of building it as you go, and you've been successful for 9 years. But what have been the hurdles? What are the hurdles? What are the pressures that get in the way of keeping this kind of a store open to serve these people?
Uh, I mean, any hurdle that a small business can experience, I probably experienced them all. So, one, creating something new. Um, I did a little research and see what is the model consignment, but it was still very different from what I offered, even down to the software program that we use, because they were used to big ticket items, one or two things. And here I am, because they would have a limit to how many items you can put in the system, or there was an additional charge. So I had to talk to them and say, hey, you don't realize that someone will bring me pencils and it might be 100 pencils. So we get a lot. So I was able to then introduce something new to just the software company that we use. So then, of course, there's the challenge of this, because this is so new, getting the word out,
Yeah.
marketing it, bringing value. Then we went into COVID, where teachers were told, oh, no, don't bring anything to work. Don't buy. And of course, no one's buying anything used. So that was a very difficult time for us. Then in 2021, we moved from Wickliffe, Ohio to Cleveland, Ohio, on East 185th Street. And so the move, though we had an opportunity to expand, we were able to. So at that time, our tutoring program was in one location, our store was in another location. And you could just imagine times I would show up in one and say, oh, wait, I think I was supposed to be somewhere else. But we were able to bring those two ideas back together. And so we serve both the tutoring and the store in one location, which was amazing. Right? We have a 39 square foot space. And so it's perfect, because the kids we tutor, we can send the parents to the store to get materials to continue working on these skills at home. So it was a perfect match to do both, to expand our tutoring program and then also have the store inside. But we moved on a time there was a reconstruction on the street.
Of course.
They closed the street, of course. And I had people calling me like, are you closed? I'm confused. I can't find you. It's been 3 years now since we've been in this new location, but we're still working on rebuilding the store, just because we took a major hit. Because it was like COVID, move, construction. Bam, bam, bam. And so we just really, our biggest hurdle is really just marketing and letting people know, hey, we are still here to serve you. And we have so many materials, more than I can even. Actually, my husband had to come in and put extra brackets on the shelves because our shelves were leaning. So we had so much stuff.
So you need more people instead of stuff. I was just going to ask what you need more often, and it's a clear answer. You need more people to come buy these things from you.
Yes, unfortunately. I mean, people who are consigning, teachers who are retiring, switching grade levels, they find us and they do, and they load us up with items. But what I have to explain to them is, you have to tell your friends and other colleagues that we are here, because it can't be a one-way rotation. I can't just receive and not have the same amount of teachers purchasing the material. So it's been challenging getting teachers to also remember we're here to sell and not just receive, but we're still open, though. We're still here. And so we're excited that we made it through those couple challenges.
Everyone in the organization needs to know how to sell. Sales is the strength of any company. Whether or not you're in marketing, operations, or even finance, everyone has a strong shared accountability towards driving top-line revenue. Whether or not you're client-facing or talking over the phone, you're able to build a stronger level of rapport with the clients. Everyone in the organization shares that responsibility to know how to sell.
And I'm interested in the still open part, because you are a teacher. You have been a teacher for 28 years. You run the tutoring store, the InQ Tutoring. You've got a full plate.
I do.
I don't know, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know that the consignment store is a huge, that you're ever going to get rich doing that. I don't think that's why you do it. What keeps you going, and what keeps you saying, this was a good try, but I got other things to worry about? What is it that keeps you going and doing this important work to help others when, maybe you don't have to?
You know what? Because I have such a love for helping people. I think that's what keeps me going. And I don't think it's really about the resources and the materials, but I think it's about providing those to the person who needs them and the child who needs them, and seeing that the lives that we change because we were able to reach that child through this game versus just another worksheet.
Mm.
I have my husband's totally different than I. You and me, you're like, how did these two get together? But he is
That's the
business
way it goes.
focused, right? So he's like, what's the bottom line? What's the bottom number? And I'm like, oh, honey, don't worry about it. As long as I continue paying the bills. But he couldn't understand, why do you want to be in business that's just just staying afloat? But to me, that's success, because I could see the smiles on the children's faces, the stories that teachers and parents tell us about how, they it's so expensive to buy these things, and I'm not going to mention the other store's name, but they're like, oh my goodness, if I could have $1 at a time. So I said, is that it? After they check out with us, we're like, yeah. I'm like, what have we been doing to teachers that they spend, minimum here, and they're saying, is that it? They're
Is that all you're
expecting
going to
to
charge
pay
me?
more. I know. So really what keeps me going is just how I'm able to help a community of individuals in such an amazing way around education. It's different, unique than just sitting down. I mean, we do have our tutoring program, but the resources is what adds that little extra flavor to this. It's like, okay, yeah, we can sit down and tutor with you, but we're not just using a book. We have a whole store of games.
Amazing.
So when we get new families, that's the first thing I do. It's like, let's take a walk. And then I show them the store, and the kids' eyes light up like, oh my goodness, we have that in our classroom. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to use this when you come here for tutoring. So they want to come.
Amazing. And that's exactly where I wanted to ask about. So a new teacher comes, let's say they're from out of town. Let's say they're from Mentor. Okay, mm-hmm. That's close to Cleveland. They come in, they've heard about this, and they walk in. What's the typical response? Now, we've already heard that, is that all you're going to charge me? So there's that. Mm-hmm. But they haven't bought things on consignment before. What did they expect when they walk into the store, and what are they finding? And what's the most rewarding thing for you that almost every teacher goes, holy cow, this? What's right. The this?
The this is, I was expecting just a warehouse of junk.
A bunch of pencils over in the corner.
A bunch of pencils, unorganized everywhere. So if a consignor comes to us, they come in and they're like, oh, so this is what you're expecting, because teachers have a lot of stuff. Some stuff I just donate because it's not in the best condition, and they don't realize the quality of the items that we carry is just like shopping at a regular retail store. Yeah. The teachers are so organized. The things are laminated. They may have directions already where you could just put it out at a center. They may have organized it in little Ziploc bags and color coded it and laminated and tagged it. And it's like all the work that teachers put in trying to organize their space is already done for them when they come here, because these are things that teachers have used and they are like brand new. Some things we get haven't even been taken out of the shrink wrap. And I say to them, like, what happened? They're like, well,
we just
one summer I bought that, I didn't get around to it, or I never got the class I thought could use it. And so teachers are really shocked at the quality of materials that we receive. Another one of those, like this is when they see unique things like, oh my goodness, I haven't seen that in years. Like we get things that they don't even make anymore. They don't sell anymore. They don't produce anymore. So I actually have a lady who emails me probably weekly and says, do you have this item? Because these are things that she had. And for some reason, she said they keep disappearing. I said, they're probably bringing them to me.
Yeah.
I said, but it excites me that I can say to her, yeah, we actually have that item. It came through the store, So.
That's awesome. So you've been doing this for 9 years. You're successful. You're doing it, and I don't think you're ready to quit. So what's the future look like? What are you hoping to accomplish? What are the hurdles or the pressure that's going to get in the way of accomplishing some of the things that you have on your plate?
So one, I do not plan on closing. I just can't. I don't have the heart. As slow as we've been, how sales have gone down, I just don't have the heart to close. So I got a new idea. I am in the process of putting this on a mobile vehicle. I have a friend who is selling a bus, and she's going to give me a really good price for it. And I'm going to now take so you mentioned we have a nonprofit.
Yeah.
So
Inc.
I'll be able to utilize the nonprofit through grants and donations to convert some of these materials to a mobile unit that then we'll be able to go to libraries, community centers, schools, pull up, and where these things are needed, we'll be able to take them to. Because I said, you know what? And I was telling my husband, if they're not coming to me, I'm going to them. And so I'm going to be mobile. So hopefully soon you will see second semester vehicle bus out there in the streets delivering materials to the schools and the students that need it.
Tremendous. And will schools buy from you, or is it really just teachers? Could schools buy from you on a grander scale?
So I am a vendor with Cleveland schools, and they can buy from me. I think the challenging part is that sometimes when schools buy from vendors, they know what they're getting. So with me, I don't have a catalog where they can go order. So it's mostly just teachers who buy, but I am positioned myself to be a vendor. So, if there's another school district that you want to offer your teachers and like a shopping allowance, we'll definitely by all means work with them.
Yeah, very good. And I guess the last question that I have, I'm interested. You talked about your husband. You talked about his business sense. What do you want him to know about you? The reason I ask that is that most of my audience is probably built like your husband. I think it's a business mentality, a leaders of organizations, those kinds of things, and it's bottom lines and all those kinds of things. And so I'm interested in what you would tell your husband he needs to know about you and how you want to be remembered, because I think that's the way my audience wants to see you as well.
Honey. Have this conversation. I want him to know, and he probably already knows, is that I lead with my heart. And God will provide, as he has for 9 years, on the financial end. But if people come and they don't see how much I care about them and their child, then why am I doing this? So what people remember is that, man, that lady, she gave from her heart. And that's what they feel when they come. Even if it's a new teacher comes and like, oh, because I remember that 20 something years ago, being that new teacher, having nothing. And here I have to set up an entire classroom. Actually, the school the school I started with, they gave me a box of crayons, pencils, paper. And I said, how am I supposed to set up a classroom with this? Then they said, well, here's the number to the local teacher store. And I was in tears when I left because I knew that I could not afford half the stuff. So when a new teacher comes, they're getting stuff, they're buying stuff, and I'm giving stuff. And they're buying stuff, and I'm like, well, I'm going to give you this because I want them to know that I am here to support them in this journey and that I give from my heart. And so I know that might not be the right answer for our business people, but I do trust and believe in her, and he has provided this long. So we're going to keep going.
And in the spirit of keeping on, if people wanted to help you, if they wanted to find you, if they wanted to shop from you, if they wanted to support you in any way, either by donation or by shopping or any other way, I imagine there's all kinds of ways to support you and your nonprofit, even learn more about the tutoring services at InQ. How would they reach out to you? How would they find you? Help people find you?
Okay, so we are on every social media platform. Second Semester Shop. So Second Semester Shop, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I think I even have a YouTube page. Don't utilize it as much. You can also go to secondsemestershop.com. That's our website. You can shop from there. You can definitely come into the store. We're located right off of East 180. We're on East 185th Street off of 90. So if you're familiar with Interstate 90, get off at East 185th Street, and we're heading north, not too far from Lakeshore. Tutoring, all that you can find on Second Semester, but our tutoring program does have its own website, which is just incufoundation.org. But if you go to Second Semester, you'll find everything, links, connections, things like that. We do pop up in the city, around town at some of the community events. I know we have something the 12th of October will be at the Shore Center, Culture Center in Euclid. And we always do the big, huge IX Center Christmas Connection. So I don't know what our booth number is this year, but if you like the Christmas Connection, please check us out. We have great items for Christmas. So I always tell parents, put an educational item on the list. They'll be able to learn from. So you have a toy, but yeah, let's have a toy that's educational. So you can visit us at the IX Center. So those are all the places that you can find us.
Good for you. And I hope people will. I know some teachers. I'm related to some teachers. I've served with teachers. I've helped as much as I can teachers. Some might think I didn't help, but I tried. The one thing I know is that we ask the world of teachers. We put rules and regulations and grade cards and expectations on the outcomes of your efforts. And then we don't give you any tools. and sometimes don't give you support. And then when someone's upset, we allow you to fend for yourself. And we hope that you do. And if you don't, you're in trouble. And if you do, it's just a hard place to be. And if we can maybe spend a little bit less of our hard-earned money, because people, I don't know if people understand the amount that teachers make, it does not cover the effort, the work that you do on the side at home, just in the classroom itself.
Right.
It just doesn't cover it. And to ask you to spend hundreds of dollars more just to do your craft is really unfair. And I don't know that there's a fix for it, but I do know that the work that you're doing is helping make it better. And I hope that other teachers will come out and take a look at your shop and see if they can maybe take that argument off of their plate a little bit and make their lives a little better. That's what you're kind of trying to do, isn't it?
That's exactly what I'm trying to do. And you get to support other teachers. So I always say our slogan is owned and operated by teachers. So when you come to our store, you're not supporting some big organization, corporation. You're actually supporting the local teachers because they are the ones who bring us the items and then you purchase from them. We're just a platform allowing that exchange to take place.
Tremendous. Thank you so much, Monica. Thanks for all you do in the classroom.
Thank
Thanks for all that you're doing for teachers. And thank you for being a guest on Purpose Under Pressure.
No, thank you so much for the invite.
That's Monica Gray. She's the founder and owner of Second Semester Consignment Shop. You'll find it in Cleveland, Ohio. We had the address on this podcast. We've got the website on the podcast. And folks, I hope that you'll reach out. I hope that if you feel like you can make a difference for her, she'll appreciate that and will make a difference for others. And in that kind of what makes the world go around. So thank you, Monica Gray, for being our guest on Purpose Under Pressure. This show is brought to you by Sandler by the Ruby Group. Sellers are under pressure to perform, and Sandler helps you to succeed on purpose. You're going to find all past episodes of Purpose Under Pressure at bryanmediastrategies.com/podcast and wherever you stream your favorite shows. We do this every week, and we will see you next time on Purpose.